What it is, what it was, and what it shall be. What's going on, everybody? This is your boy, Dr. Will Rogers, a.k.a. Master Teacher 33. And today is Friday, Freaky Friday, August the 7th. What's going on, Sister Veronica Smith? Friday, August the 7th of 2020. At the time is 12:45. A little after Central Time. As always, my brothers, as always, my sister, got another powerful message scheduled for you today. Part 1, the nine mind, the God mind. This is a mental disposition that must be maintained in order that you don't experience psychological drain. Just overstand, my brothers. Just overstand, my sisters. No more play. This is the mental disposition that you must maintain in order that you do not experience psychological drain. Right now, you're psychologically being mind-effed. Let me make sure you understand, because this is not a new believer show. This is the only warning you're going to get. Now's the time to disconnect if you're a new believer. If this is your first rodeo, boo-boo, you don't want to cut your teeth on this one. You see, brothers and sisters, today we got to over and understand that if you think it, it will come. Let me say that again, one more time. If you think it, it will come. One more time. If you think it, it will come. We did 3 introductions to this series that we're going to be talking about the mind of God, the mind of source, the nine mind, or nine ether. So we're talking about, you can use the term esoteric. I like to use that term a lot because that just simply means hidden. So this is what we're talking about. We're talking about the knowledge of the mind and how your brain works, so that way you can be one with source. So when we talk about nine ether mindset, which is what we're talking about today, there's 3 things we want to talk about here with part 1. We'll do part 2 tonight, and we'll do 2 shows a day. That way we can, for the next 3 to 5 series, that way we get caught back up. So put your big boy drawers on, your big girl panties on. If you're not part of the esoteric codex that's breaking down the cosmology of God's theology, this is the 5th dimension. This is the 5th element that takes us to the 6th, 7th, 8th, and the 9. This is the power of the ether. So we're going beyond the veil of science. We're entering into a space that very few people can go to. We're talking about ether. Now, ether, my brothers and sisters, is this cosmological stuff. It's the power of the air. So when we're talking about ether, we're talking about over understanding there's a combination of molecules, gases, and atoms that are animated, or that animate this reality based upon your mentality. Let me say it again. We're talking about ether. So the mind of ether, most people live in their head, not in their heart. Big mistake, can't come back from that one. So what is the point of today's message? The point of today's message, get out your head, get into your heart. Live in the heart, not in the head. Right now, you're very reasonable, very logical. That's great. That's awesome. But that dog don't hunt, not at the highest level. You're going to get smoked. So we're talking about the mental disposition that one must maintain in order to be successful. That mental disposition allows you to understand that you have a higher cause. Nine ether permeates all existence. Some could call it melanin, dark, black ether. Black is the absence of all color and the inclusion of all color. This is the dark matter. This is the black goo. This is the invisible spectrum. This is the supernatural realm. This is the world, or the realm of what we call, gravity. And so it's very, very important, brothers and sisters, when we're talking about, slide over a little bit. So when we're talking about gravity, and check out my, so I got a copper cup. You guys know that copper purifies water. And my wife hooked me up with a copper straw. So I got my copper cup, I got my copper straw. Living a dream. And so this is what the wife brought me, so you guys can pick these up at your local, CVS store, Walmart, what have you. These are copper straws. You might want to pimp the game. Copper straws. Okay. Back to the topic at hand. In order to be successful, number 1, water or take care of the plants in your own garden. Let me say it again. Number 1, God does this. Right now, you're an irresponsible creator. How do I know? Because there's thoughts that you're having that you're not maintaining. Say that again. Right now, you are an irresponsible creator. We all are. That's the purpose of the class, so you can stop doing that because that is destroying your charge so that way you cannot amplify, so you cannot magnify. It's not your fault. They taught you that shit at Ebenezer Baptist. But the Joseph Lynch III, you're not at Ebenezer Baptist no more, bruh. Time to shine, homie. J Money, it's time to think it, feel it, and manifest it. No more Groundhog Day. This is how you develop digital trust. How? Take care of your own shit. What does that mean? You got a thought, man up, own it, or don't think it. What does that mean? Do you ever plant a garden? So the wife just planted a garden in the backyard, grew all types of stuff, but you got to take care of the garden. Every day you got to go out there and weed it. Every day she wants to water it, sometimes twice a day. And I noticed that she just didn't take care of the watermelons. The cucumbers, for some reason or other, grow really, really well here in South Texas. We have cucumbers everywhere. We got to take care of them. We have zucchini, green zucchini, the squash, corn, the peppers, tomatoes. But I noticed she had to take care of all the plants in the garden. That's what God does. And unfortunately, we don't do that. That's the purpose of today's show. That's the purpose of the series, to teach you how to take care of all the thoughts in your head and drop them down from your head to your heart, because they all came from your gut. So the nine mind, the way that you shine, is to understand how to, number 2, be a great gardener. Master your craft. See, the nine mind knows how to shine because the nine mind understands how not to undermine its craft, its garden. To make sure, that the ether permeates all existence. So the power to bring about whatever it is that you want to bring about when this new digital economy is to establish digital trust. How do we do that? Number 1, be authentic. Number 2, be consistent. Very few people are authentic. So we've got to break down what that means. Brothers and sisters, we are here because we are celestial beings. We come from a group of frequencies, waves of vibrations. We are a specific type or a specific class of energy or entities that exist inside of hue. We call that melanin or form. So as a 9-ether being, we are a class, if you will, of the God kind or the God class. We are living amongst other frequencies, waves of vibrations. This is why we are in this world, but we're not of this world. So it talks about Yahushua, and it says that, his feet was like, his hair was woolly. That represents, again, that 9-ether. So, but this is beyond Africanus. This is beyond Americanus or Americo. In other words, this is beyond labels and limits. This is beyond language, because language divides us. This is about the essence of existence. Now, for the people who were not a part of Death, Where Is Your Sting? Grave, Where Is Your Victory? Let me bring you up to speed with the word essence. Y'all better get that copper straw. Let me bring you up to speed with that terminology. Now, because remember, this is part 1 of over and understanding that every thought that you have is crazy, because number 1, a thought is a charge. It's a positive charge or a negative charge. That charge produces amplification. And we talked about that yesterday. When you have a group of thoughts, it amplifies you. It makes you feel whatever you're thinking about. So are you living in the theater of your mind? So we've got to clarify, what do I mean by mastering your craft, taking care of your garden, your mind, because the mind is the least powerful, but that's where everybody lives. So don't live in the mind. Live in the heart. But get your instructions from your gut. So we make a mistake. We live in our head, and we get our instructions from our heart. We don't even activate our gut. So the gut is the biggest brain. That's your sixth sense. So number one, the nine mind, it amps up, again, all of the seven chakra systems. So it activates the crown, the highest chakra system, so that way you can connect outside of you. So we got 7, but 8 and 9 is above you. So 8 is like the soul realm. 9 is the spiritual realm. 9 is source. So we are returning back to source, if you will, when we activate the nine mind. How do we do it? Number one, take care of your own garden. Number 2, master your craft. How do you do that? We're going to break that down. Number 3, get out your head. Get into your heart. But make sure that you get your instructions from your gut, because the heart amplifies whatever is inside the gut. So the heart is the amplifier. So we talked about that yesterday. Remember we said charge, amplify, magnify. So those are the 3 steps to the nine mind, which we're going to be breaking down during this series. So what does that mean, though? So that means there's something in the air that we talked about yesterday. So there's subatomic particles in the air. These subatomic particles in the air, they respond to the synchronicity of the atmosphere through what we call the essence of the cycles of creation. So every atomic bomb, every atomic explosion is controlled by thought. So you can create your own, you are really your own supernova. So that when we're talking about the nine mind, what we're talking about is numbers repeat themselves. So we go the number 0 through 9, and then it goes back again. So those are the only numbers. So once we understand 9 ether, then the number 9 is the number of completion. The number 9 is the number of ascension. The number 9 is the number of consciousness. The number 9 is the number of the third eye. The number 9 is 999, which is the number 666. So the number 666 is code for the number 9. So the number 666, here, the book of Revelation, here, this is wisdom. Know the measure of the man. It is 666, but it's code like everything in the Bible. So if you turn it back upside down the way it should be, 666 is 999. So the nine mind is really the mind of God downloaded into the body of a 6. So a 6 is an upside down 9. So they gave us an upside down God. So you got an upside down God. Are you low vibrational nickels? So y'all are vibrating on a 6. Well, you need to turn that shit around so that way you can vibrate on the 9. But unfortunately, Sister Christy, that's above most people's pay grade. So, Brother Gordon, can you connect with the nine mind? The nine mind is how we shine. So the nine mind, the number 9 is the number of completion. The number 9 is the number of ascension. The number 9 is the number of consciousness. The number 9 is the number of the 144,000, because 1 plus 4 is 5, and 5 plus 4 is 9. It is the seal of the nature of God. So 666 is 999. You've been conned, boo-boo. Ain't your fault. You've been Ebenezer Baptist. So mankind is the 6 behind the 9. So the 9, remember, in the Bible it talks about, if you go to John chapter 10, John 21, chapter 10, John chapter 10, verse 21. And it talks about, work while it's day, blah, blah, blah. It talks about how Jesus caught the fish in the net. He threw it on the other side of the boat. All of this stuff. All of this, if you look at the numbers in those scriptures, Matthew 20, verse 5, don't have time to read it. All you thumpers out there, look it up. John 21:10. John 21:10. Matthew 20, verse 5. Matthew 20, verse 5. Matthew 27, verse 45. Matthew 27, verse 45 and 46. Because I know there's some thumpers out there. I got to get my scriptures out, because otherwise, y'all thumpers are going to have a hard time. Now, let me make sure you understand, because once you can wrap your brain around what it's saying, when Jesus says, now from the 6th hour, there was darkness over all the land until the 9th hour. Matthew 27, verse 46. Father, source, big G, pleroma, pleru. We thank you for being you. We know that we have God eternal within the body. We are individual expressions of God on earth. We are nines. I speak to my fellow nines that they elevate their minds. Source, I speak to my fellow nines that they elevate their minds. Nines elevate minds. We are chosen for such a time as this. We are incarnated by choice for such a time as this to destroy the yoke with the mind of the nine to turn the six back up so it can shine. Thank you, Source. Brothers and sisters, this is part one. The rest of the parts we're going to be private. I ain't going to be doing this shit on Facebook. If you're not a member of the 2020 Total Awareness, we've done 3 introductions already for this. Right now, you're not in the answer state of consciousness. That means I can't hang out with you because you are a liability, because you draw shit that could collateral damage. It might accidentally scrape up against me, and homie, don't play that. And then, you know, me and you gonna have problems. So I can't hang out because I'm chosen, because I chose myself. Nope. You can do the same thing. But that means you got to let go of the old shit that you've been hanging on that keep you from fighting, keep you from shining. And it's very, very important because as Brother David just said, which is what that's what those scriptures are talking about that I gave you guys, the 153 fish that Jesus caught in the net. 1 plus 5 plus 3 equals 9. That's found in John chapter 10. There are 100, if you convert 3.5 days, that equals 6. All through the Bible, especially Matthew 27:45, Matthew 20, verse 5. And I may break these scriptures down later on in the series, but I'm just putting this out there for the people that's not going to be able to join because their vibration is too low. Remember, the cost of this series is $167. If you're part of the current Business Accelerator program and you want to continue watching the rest of this series, then the cost is 50% off of that $167. The entire 33 books that I'm doing in 2020, this is book number 10. We just finished Death, Where Is Your Sting? Grave, Where Is Your Victory? So we're going to start amping them up. So that way, this is why I'm doing 2 shows a day, one at 12, and then we're doing one tonight at 6 or 7. Excuse me. So that way we can go through like 2 books in a week. So we can knock these out because we're already in the month of August. Brothers and sisters, when Jesus cried out, it said he cried out in the 9th hour. Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani. In the 9th hour, he cried out, my God, why hast thou forsaken me? If you look in the Gospel of the Holy 12, that you ain't going to find this shit in your watered down King James Bible, but in the Gospel of the Holy 12, in the Gospel of Thomas, and also in the book of Coming Forth by Day and Night, some of y'all call it the Book of the Dead. That breaks down Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani. That means source code, if you want to use that term. Jesus, you know, Yosef, Ben Joseph, whatever name, frequency, label that makes your toes curl, was giving up his ego. In the book of the Holy 12, chapter 82, verse 26. Again, this ain't a New Believer show, so if you're a new believer, before I insult your intelligence, get your ass off this line. It's now. Hang up. Before I insult your intelligence, hang up. If you're a new believer, this ain't the show for you, boo-boo. It's above your pay grade. In the Gospel of the Holy 12, chapter 82, verse 26. When Jesus therefore had received the vinegar, he said, "It is finished." He bowed his head and he gave up the ghost. And it was in the ninth hour. The ghost is the ego. The ghost is death. Now, if you're a traditional thumper, you can go to Acts chapter 3. In Acts chapter 3, verse 1, Acts 3, 1. Now, Peter and John went up together in the temple, and the hour being the ninth hour. Acts chapter 10, verse 3, Acts chapter 10, verse 3, and he saw the vision evidently about the ninth hour of the day of the angel of God coming unto him and saying unto him, whatever the guy's name was, in Acts chapter 10, verse 3, Cornelius. Acts chapter 10, verse 30, and then Cornelius, 4 days ago, after was fasting, until this hour, which was at the ninth hour. All throughout the Bible, it talks about the ninth hour. If we look at the speed of light, do the math, 9. The sun, the radius of the sun, 8, 6, 4. 8 plus 6 plus 4, 18. 18 is 9. The moon, the radius of the moon, 2,000, according to science, 21, 6. 2 plus 1 plus 6 is 9. The earth, 7, 9, 2, 5. 7 plus 9 plus 2, 8, 18, 9. The body has how many openings? 9. How many planets in our solar system? 9. Now, brothers and sisters, I don't know if you really understand because, again, this is beyond most people's pay grade. I understand. But all I'm simply saying to you, this mental disposition, the 9 mind, is the only way for you to shine. There's people talking about a lot of different things on earth today. And I'm here to assist you with over understanding how to shine. That's the only purpose. That's the reason for today's show. Now, everybody on today's call is very important, brothers and sisters. Very important that you understand. Number one, you got to take care of your own garden. You can't take care of somebody else's. Now, let me say this again because it's very important. Number one, take care of your own garden. Now, it's going to be hard if you're sick like me and Dr. Span, Brother Travis. You want to take care of other people's garden. Now, let me make sure you understand because we like to think it is our job to charge, amplify, and magnetize other people. We don't overly understand that we have to master our own craft. How? To master your own craft requires you to observe yourself. Let me say it again. To master your own craft, to take care of your own garden, you have to do what? You have to observe yourself. Let me say this again. To master your own craft, you have to take care of your own self. Let me say this again. To master your own craft, you have to take care of your own self. Let me say it again. To master your own self, you have to take care of your own craft. We just went through a plethora of different scriptures that has the number 9 in it, the 9 mind. 666 is 999 upside down. As I've been saying for 20 years, everything on this earth is upside down. Everything on this earth is an unauthorized production. Now, there are black people who believe that the black man is God. Melanin, some kind of way, makes us superior. That shit is demonic. I've been telling black people this shit for I don't know how long, but people don't understand. Everything on this earth is demonic. So I don't care what you're teaching. If it doesn't come off the grid, meaning you got to get it from source. What are we getting from source? The nine mind. Because where does it come from? Now, remember what I'm saying. Read my book, The Cosmic Orator. I don't care what you're teaching. If you teach Egyptology, if you teach, Sufism, perennialism, you have to observe yourself, and you have to do Eli, lama sabachthani. You have to let go of the ego. The ego wants to be right. The ego wants to be heard. The ego wants to be seen. The ego wants to be loved, valued, and respected. There is no 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, all of these other numbers. Those other numbers are just a manipulation of the mind. If you look at 2,160 years that it takes to go through one age, that comes out to the number 9. If you look at the great year 25,920, that is reduced to the number 9. If you look at 24 hours in a day, you come out to 144 minutes. That is reduced to the number 9. If you look at the temple in the body, the holy body with the 9 openings, you stay in the mother's womb 9 months. That is a full term. And each month in there is a different frequency. The ego is 666. The spirit is 999. So the inability for us to understand Genesis chapter 5, verse 27, Genesis 5:27, and all the days of Methuselah were 969. Those are my numbers. That comes out to the number 24. Number 24 comes out to the number 6. And 6 is an upside down 9. 6 is a pregnant female. 9 is a dude, what's he called? Yacobo, Yokum, I think, called the big head scientist. 9, if you know what that means, you got a big ass head. That means that you're vibrating, boo-boo. That means that you got that halo over your head. Now, most people don't understand biblical. Got an itch in my ear. Most people don't understand biblical astrology. Jesus died at the age of 33, right? But he began his ministry at the age of 12. He disappeared for how many years? 18 years. Where did he go? Jesus disappeared for 18 years. Just disappeared. Poof! Gone. Vanished. 1 plus 8 is what? 9. Now, I can go on with over and understanding the power of the 9 mind. But in order for you to shine, you have to do something, brothers and sisters. Now, remember, we did the 3 intro shows. Get your copper cup and your copper straw. I should start selling these. Number 1, you got to create a charge. Number 2, the charge got to make you amplified. And number 3, when you become amplified, you become magnetized. That's what Romans 12:2 talks about. Be transformed by the renewing of the mind. Now, the 9 mind means 9. Look at the word mind, 9. Mind and 9 are phonetical brothers and sisters. But what am I talking about when I say that this entire production, this entire world is an unauthorized production? This is the problem. The problem is, Sister Beverly, if you don't really have that disposition, that means that there is something that's going to be told to you that's going to sound good to your ego. But when you walk in the spirit, you know that every teaching that you hear, you know, why would a loving God make one man with melanin and another man without? Now, God doesn't make junk. So all creations in their original form are expressions of source. At the highest level, we are all extensions of source. But I got to get you to get in your ego. So what does it feel like if you are black and you believe you're superior? That shit feels good. My ego like shit. You know what? The black man is God. How does that make you feel? And if you're white, how do you feel? You don't feel like, damn, what did I didn't do nothing shit. How come I'm not black? Remember the white dude that was talking about the Ancient Alien show that was here on Facebook? Somebody posted it. And he said a very important thing. In all of the Ancient Alien series, they've been on TV for 9 years or something. They're all white. They all go to Egypt. And they're saying it is possible for a black man, for the Houthi, the green ones, to build a pyramid and do all the shit that the Egyptians did. They must have been aliens. So they can't give credit to the black man. So how does it make black people feel? And then what if you're white? Okay, if you are white, then you've been running the country. Scandinavian, Nordic, the Vikings, ruthless, kill, destroy, mutilate, the Caucasus Mountains, the Azakazi Jews. That's your culture if you're white. So how does that make you feel? Okay, that makes you feel good, right? Until you get to the part where, we kill everybody, we rape people. So white people are ruthless people, right? So how does that make you feel? So people like ruling other people. We like that shit. It makes us feel. Because remember, thoughts, feelings, manifestations. So the 9 mind, everybody shines. Because everybody's one. We're all one. So at the lower level, when you teach stuff that's division, you already know. Well, I already know that's demonic. I already know that you're not operating in the 9 mind. Why? Because you're telling me that the black man is God. So what does it do with all the other men? Now, I know the understanding behind that level of teaching. That means, as I've already taught, we got the fire beings, we got the light beings, we got the clay beings. Okay, Source, the real one, he didn't do that shit. I know who did it. His name is Samael. All of the texts say that. All of the texts say the dude that created, manipulated, if you want to use it. It even says in the Gospel of Thomas, Negro, look this shit up. It says it in the Gospel of Thomas. When he bade, that's what I got in my book, bade, B-A-D-E. He bade the other angels, conned them, tricked them, to assist him with making division. Language, division. Anything you teach is division. That's not, I don't hang out with that dude. Now y'all do y'all. I'm gonna do me. I'm gonna do 9 mind shit because that's how you win. I'm a winner. I like getting results. I don't like talking, pondering, pontificating. I did that shit already, boo-boo. Got 3 t-shirts. I got a mandate from God to return and to establish source code frequency on this earth. All this low-level teachings, I have not heard a teaching yet that's source. Meaning, it's somebody's interpretation. Melanin is real. It gives black people the ability to amp, blah, 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 blah. That's awesome. Okay, why would Source do that? If he's all-knowing, all-powerful, all-benevolent. So all of the division, meaning problems. So you mean to tell me God is too stupid to actually do shit and create a planet with no freaking problems? So he got to do this shit over and over again. So we got to have this cataclysm. So the whole earth is wiped out, totally destroyed, and then it's like reset. So you mean to tell me that the source, that he approves of that? Or is that what you're telling me? You tell me that God is so stupid he can't make a damn planet that can't reset itself? Is that what you're telling me? Now you can tell other people that shit, but come on, dog. You're talking. I'm Master Teacher 33. Like I wasn't born last night. So I don't get my shit from this planet. I go off the grid. I go directly to the source. I go to the throne. So now I'm going to teach you how to go to the throne. That's the purpose of this class. Because right now, we got people walking around talking about COVID-19. Even if the shit is real, what does that mean? I got an immune system that can kill anything. According to science, no disease, no virus or bacterium can exist in an alkaline body. So who cares? Give me COVID-19. I don't care. My body is alkaline. Unless somebody makes it acidic. So how can I make a human body acidic? Okay, I got to put fluoride in the air. Well, okay, who did that? I put fluoride in the water. I got to put chemtrails in the air. Okay, who did that? Did you do that? Sister Allison, did you put chemtrails in the air? Sister Christy, did you approve that? So it's really obvious that everything that's going on this planet ain't got shit to do with source. So when you find books written by people on this planet, shit's whack. And this is written by somebody who's connected to source, who ain't on this planet, who interject. Now, Jesus said this, I am in this world, but I'm out of this world. Jesus said, they say, hey, ain't you the king of the Jews? If you're the king of the Jews, come down, save yourself. He's like, yeah, I'm not from this hellhole. That's what Jesus said. Now, the problem is simply nobody thinks the way God thinks. We just think the way the anti-God thinks. It is not our fault because we have not been exposed to higher dimensional thinking. Once you get to higher dimensional thinking, you let go of the ego. Because the ego wants to be right. The ego wants to be heard. The ego wants to be the chosen one. The ego wants to be Neo. The ego wants to come on the scene. So the ego is dangerous because the ego wants to, impress you with its gnosis and its knowledge. So we say, well, Brother Will, ain't you doing the same thing, brother? Why are you here? See, source, look at, if we were to read, let me pull this one up. Go to Acts chapter 10, verse 34. Acts chapter 10, verse 34. Now, everybody on this call, this is extremely important. In Acts chapter 10, verse 34, then Peter began to speak. I now truly understand that God does not show favoritism, but welcomes those from every nation who fear, that means admire, that means understand him and do what is right. Now, that's in the Bible. I'm not even a fan of the Bible. I like non-canonized shit because then Constantine didn't put his hands in it. But I got a gut. My gut. So the nine mind uses the gut. That's why everything that we eat is designed to affect the gut. Because that's where your ability to connect with source or your solar plexus is at, your gut. So everything affects your gut. Forces you to live in your heart, that means you're emotional. Or in your head, that means you're rigid, you're reasoning and logical. Your shit don't make, my brother, according to the hypothesis of, the Pythagorean theorem, based upon my conjecture, a bunch of educated fools. That's most nickels are freaking educated fools. Can't fight the way the paper bag. No love and compassion, a bunch of education. Or you got a bunch of people walking around, damn flower children, freaking 60 hippies, hugging trees, saving whales, and want to love everybody, living the damn out in the woods in a freaking convent somewhere. No gut. See, the gut is totally different from the heart and the head. The nine mind lives in the gut. It doesn't live in the heart or the head. Now, it uses the heart or the head to amplify and charge. So the nine mind is reverse engineered six. The six, you have a thought, that creates a charge. Positive, negative. I have a thought, go rob a bank. That's negative. But hey, I'm going to get amplified. Now remember, yesterday we broke up. Yesterday we broke down that word amplified. And for all you Reverend Dr. Bishops that missed the show yesterday, to amplify, that's one of the most powerful words, because that word amplify means I'm going to state or describe. It's through the process of fixing. What is 16? 9. What is 9? 9 is the number of analyzation. So let me make sure y'all understand something, man. Let me show you this. Let me show y'all something. So for everybody that's watching on TV, on the audio, you guys gotta take the word. I'll read it to you. So this is my personal book that I use when I'm counseling my clients. Can y'all see that? What does that say for the number 9? Can anybody see that? You see the zeros is unlimited power, right? You see what does it say for the number 9? That's God. So God is he's a system analyst. He's a programmer. The number 9 represents analyzation. So amplification is, now remember who are we analyzing? Master your craft. Build it, they will come. Build what? Your freaking mind. That does what? Amplified by your heart. That gets everything that it's doing from your gut. So the word amplified means describe in detail so that way you can produce illustrations for clarification, for expansion, for increasing, and for amplification. But you got to be able to describe it. It means the ability to expand one's understanding of one's self. So master your craft. How? Understand yourself. How? Understand your numbers. Now, I have a document that is 100 pages. I wish I could show it to you. I don't have it printed out. In this document, this is the esoteric meaning of numbers. I shared it with my private group this morning. If you go to Google, research, do something, dog, you got to get it. No, if I can find it, you can find it. It's called, the esoteric meaning of numbers. Should have hurt your brain. Why? God has chosen, because the enemy has chosen to use symbols to reduce God's power on earth. Words, numbers, sigils, logograms, pictograms, those are designed to block or keep God out. Let me say this again. Father, touch the mind, will, emotion, imagination, and intelligence of your people. When we look at Acts chapter 10, verse 33, let's go up one, Acts 10:33. So I sent for you immediately, and you were kind enough to come. Now then, when all here are in the presence of God, to listen to everything the Lord has instructed you to tell us. Verse 34. Then Peter began to speak. Once everybody came, everybody relaxed, everybody said, okay, we want to hear from source, not from man. Then Peter said, you know what I noticed? In the New Living Translation, this is what Peter is saying to everybody, hey, I noticed something. The New Living Translation says it this way, Acts 10:34. Then Peter replied, I see very clearly that God shows no favoritism. Verse 35, Acts 10, verse 35. Acts 10, verse 35. So every group got God. The Muslims say, we got God. He only likes us. We're going to strap a bomb and we're going to blow your ass up because God told me to. You've got the KKK people who read in the Bible that God only loves white people. And we're going to kill everybody that ain't white because God is a white man. You've got the black folks saying if you ain't got melanin, you well done. God only loves people who got melanin, no melanin, play in traffic. You've got the Chinese people who got dragons and shit. You've got the, we just keep going, Eskimos. Everybody got God. But it's amazing because the God everybody got hates everybody that's not like them. Except the one that I got. So Acts chapter 10, verse 35, in the New Living Translation, in every nation he accepts those who reverence him and do what is acceptable, a.k.a. right in their gut, not the heart of their head. So, boo-boo, God he hasn't wrote his laws on tablets of stone any longer, but he's written his laws on the hearts and the minds of his people. Now, that, again, I'm talking about source. I'm talking about the nine mind, the highest mind. So what do I do? I know, therefore I feel. Therefore, I can control my thought. See, everybody else on this dimension, they got it upside down. People think, then they feel, and then they manifest. Me, Dr. Monroe told me something when I was under his study. Dr. Monroe says God always finishes, and then he backs up and begins. That's the nine mind. Woo! That will preach. Let me say it again so you can understand. So God, he starts off in the finished product, meaning he's in an answered state of consciousness, 24/7, 360, mother beep 5. So what does that mean? God is he's a constant knower. So what he knows, he feels. What he feels, he thinks. See, we got it reversed. We think, but what we thinking is it's random. Shit comes and goes. We don't know. We don't have the nine mind. See, the nine mind doesn't think. The nine mind feels what it already knows. So the question is, we don't know nothing, so we can't feel it. So we can't feel it, we can't think it. So let me get this right. What if you could control the feel? Well, what does that mean? You could control what is real. So right now you have this thing called emotion. Shit goes up and down. Why? You don't know. You're not magnetized. So let me get this right. So what does the word magnetized mean, my brother? Well, it just simply means that you're supposed to be a magnet. So I'm magnetized. So magnetized, this is the God mind. God is a magnet. So thoughts are electric. Feelings are magnetic. That's what God is. So God is a magnet. Now, a magnet has the ability to impart properties. We call those frequencies waves of vibrations that have the ability to attract, to compel, to influence. Let me say it again. Contract, compel, influence. Let me say it again. Attract, compel, influence. Let me say it again. Somebody should write that down. I'm writing it down. Attract, compel, influence. During the show, I write stuff down because the Bible says in Habakkuk 2:2, write it down, make it plain, so that those can read with it, bam, amplify it. So, to make sure you understand, this is God. This is the nine mind. The nine mind attracts. The nine mind compels. The nine mind influences. Let me say it again. Father touch the mind, will, emotion, intelligence of your people. So, to attract, that means there is a force that unites. It draws. It means to draw by appealing to emotion. It means to stimulate interest. It means to excite. It means to invite. So God is inviting you. Remember, many are called, few, however, pick up the phone and say, yo, what's up, God? I'm here, dog. What you got for me? God called y'all, but y'all niggas watching Love and Hip Hop. So, number one, source code, nine mind attracts. So, everybody I know, they go gets. That's not God. God is not a getter. He's an attractor. Another study for another time. The next thing is, God compels. If we want to use that. Now, remember, this is you. You God. They just didn't tell you. So the word compel, it means a force that overpowers compel. So the word compel, again, very, very, it's a force, it's a drive, it's a course of action that's designed to secure, to bring about something, to make something to do. Word again, overpower. There's that word again, overpower. So the word overpower is in the word attract. The word overpower is in the word compel. And the last word, influence. And the word influence means overpower or power or capacity for compelling, producing, affecting action, behavior, opinions, change. It is the action, it is the process of producing an effect. That's God. It is the ethereal fluid of the universe. So the nine mind knows shit. What it knows, it draws what it knows. The nine mind draws what it knows. The nine mind draws to it what it knows. Build it, they will come. The nine mind. So the nine mind builds what it knows. It doesn't go get in research. The only thing it gets in research is what? What we said about the definition of the word amplify. So I already got something. I just want to amplify it. How do I amplify what I got? Well, first of all, what do I got? Let's back up. What do I got? How much time I got before I gotta wrap this up? Yeah, I know J Money gotta go get his chicken sandwich. I ain't mad at you, J Money. You thought I was gonna let you go today, didn't you, bro? Nah, I ain't forgot about you, J Money. So let me get this right, brothers and sisters. So what do I got? People tell me all the time, well, ain't no praise Jesus, my brother. I ain't got nothing, I ain't got nothing to give, I don't know nothing. All I got is one name and date of birth. You are the lucky winner. You know your name and your date of birth. Step right up. You know your numbers. So all I do is tell people what they got. Because when I tell you what you got, this is what happens. Now you can start to get a greater understanding of these numbers. When you get a greater understanding of your life optimization chart, those are limits though, but you got to start with that limit so that way you can transcend it. So I know I am wealthy, healthy, wise, and I know I'm God's gift to the planet. So every day I wake up, I expand by stating and describing. Let me say it again. Reading directly from dictionary.com based upon the word amplify. I expand. How do I expand? By stating. What is stating? Mental disposition. Today we broke down something that's extremely important. This chart behind me, this is what we broke down today. What did we break down? In the private group, I broke down everybody's operating state. If you don't do nothing today, let's close with this, man. Jay Money said you got to go get this chicken sandwich. Father, touch the minds of your people. If everybody could write their operating state, mental, that means a mental disposition that you operate. Every day you operate. So you are either the number 1 through 9. So your operating state is one of these numbers, 1 through 9. You're either verbally expressive, intuitive, artistic, stable, assertive, quality and detail. That means beauty. You're either intelligent. That means sympathy. You're executioner. That means you can execute shit. That means you're an 8. Or you're a royal. You're an analyst. That means you're a 9. So that means your brain is supposed to stay in this state all day, every day, 24/7, 365. That's what you're supposed to know. What is your operating state? That's your OS. Now, I got a computer. It has an operating system. Do you? See, God has an operating system. The nine mind is an operating system. Right now, your operating system is not the equivalent of source. So we just read, and so especially, again, now there's a bunch of scriptures that I got outside of the Bible. I didn't even touch those. But we could read all of those scriptures outside of the Bible. The Holy Bible, or the Helios Biblos, which means sun book. So the Ethiopian Bible, the Ethiopian Bible, the Ethiopian Bible, the Ethiopian Bible, the Ether Open Bible is the only Bible on this mother beep planet. Dr. Martinet, was that enough beeps? The Ether Open Bible, Ethiopians. Have y'all niggas seen an Ethiopian Bible? They still out there. So, what are the books in the Ethiopian Bible? How many books are in the Ethiopian Bible? Well, the Ethiopian Bible has 84 books. The King James Bible has 66 books. Now, the ether open. How do you open the ether? The way that you open the ether is by understanding the numbers 3, 6, 9. Because that is how, according to Nikola Tesla and every scientist that got half a brain, understands the book of Enoch. So the ether, to open the ether, there's books outside of the 66 that's contained inside of the ether open Bible. We call it the Ethiopian. Notice the word Ethiopian. So that's your mental state. What is the mental state? The mental state is the condition that you operate in. It's your operating state. So my operating state is pretty different from everybody else's. So what does that mean? That means people fall off, people drop off. That means that you're not going to have a lot of friends. That means you're going to be the Lone Ranger. That means that because, see, you understand your subatomic identity. So that means by closely observing your numbers, you make particles change. So each carbon atom consists of 6 tiny electrons, 6 tiny protons, 6 tiny neutrons. Those 6s are 9s, however. And so if the nucleus of one carbon atom was the size of, let's say, a basketball, that means that it could operate a space the size of, like, I don't know, 5 or 6 football fields. That's how powerful you are. But we got a conundrum. You have to be the observer. So your job is to help yourself get out of your ego and observe your spirit. Because the observer determines existence. By the process of observing your numbers and yourself, that's what you know. What you know is what you feel. What you feel controls what you think. And your thoughts are the things that manifest in this dimension. Very, very, very important, brothers and sisters, because the Ethiopian, the ether, open the Bible. This is how we open the ether, because of the meaning in this dimension of this word. That means the word Ethiopia actually means fiery or sunburned. Because it actually means, so that's why, especially if you look at the etymology of the meaning of the word, and you get down to the ether, it comes from this word Aithen, but basically means fiery look. Some people say burnt face or sunburned. So ether means to burn. Ether means the ability for you to go through and operate on all levels of existence. The same way oxygen in your lungs go through all of the existence in the body. So, as I've done many the metaphysics of oxygen, that's the 9. So the 9 mind, in conclusion, the 9 mind is simply the source mind that is expressed through what you and I call science. So Ethiopians were the original people, if you want to use that term, because they understood the power of the life-giving force of that the sun produces through melanin or through the Nubian. So there is some, if you want to use that term, understanding of how, just like letters, Source wanted to get into this dimension and bring natural or nature or natural order through this dimension. And the way that he could get in was through the Ethiopians, because they could open the ether. And so this is why it's very difficult for the Caucasians, if you want to use that term, to hang out in the sunshine or sunburned, which is the definition of the word, burned by the sun. That's what the word means, Ethiopia. Now again, you can look all of this stuff up, ether. So the sun is 9, and 9 is the sun. The sun produces what we want to call ether. And this ether produces what we call, quote unquote, black skin. So the ability to understand how this can be very dangerous, that means we're worshiping a lower form of God, like numbers. Numerology and numerologists, if that is, for example, if you're a numerologist and you don't believe in God, that means you made a lower frequency God. That means that you made the tool. Let's close with the story of Samson. Samson took a jawbone of a donkey, according to the story, and he smoked 1,000 Philistines. Now, according to the story, after Samson smoked 1,000 Philistines with the jawbone of a donkey, he dropped the jawbone in the dirt. That brother was a little slow. And like in my opinion, Samson had to be an LLD dude. He had to be a part of the Little Lost Dummies. What man can take an instrument, kill 1,000 people, and then throw the instrument away? That means Samson was light years ahead of me. Because I told y'all, that jawbone, I would have a picture of 1,000 bodies, and then I would have a picture of my jawbone. And every time somebody pissed me off, I would send them a picture of that jawbone and 1,000 people. Say, bro, you don't want none of this. I would smoke. Hey, did you see what I already did? I already killed 1,000 dudes with this jawbone. Man, I'll be worshiping that jawbone. I'll be carrying pictures of I have that picture. I'll freaking sleep with that jawbone. Samson didn't do that. He dropped the jawbone because the jawbone was a freaking tool. Black man, melanin is a tool. The gun is a tool. There's a lot of tools. Numbers are tools. They ain't God. Letters are tools. I don't give a damn how much power they got. They ain't God. They ain't source. It's just a middleman. Jesus is a tool. The Bible says there is no more a middleman between. That's what Jesus says. You can go boldly to the throne of grace just like me. Jesus is our elder brother. He taught us how to connect with source. He never said, I am source. He said that I am the way, I am the truth, I am the life. This is how you get to it. Hey, this is the way, but we'll come over here. I am the way. Any man that goes through me, that means do the same thing I did, bam, you go to the source. But we got it convoluted. Let's reestablish our minds, brothers and sisters, so that way we can shine. I love everybody. I appreciate you. We do part 2 later on tonight. Again, if you want to join us for part 2, 3, 4, and the rest of the series, email me at masterteacher33.com at gmail.com. Email us again, masterteacher33.com at gmail.com. Brothers and sisters, I love you. I appreciate you. Brother John Thomas Wilkes, brother, I see you've been doing big things, Brother John. Keep doing what you're doing, my brother. Brother David Andrews, appreciate you, my brother. Appreciate you. Brother Joseph Lynch, appreciate you too, my brother. Love everybody. I appreciate you. God bless. I'm at the top grinding and shining. Come join me. God bless.